The Covert Standard.
Shit, yeah. 3%ers right here.
You see, you just gotta elevate your lifestyle. Shit, I don't like asking for directions. I do love ass and titties, though, all day long. Hello, people, and thank you for tuning into The Covert Standard. This is such a beautiful, wonderful day, isn't it there, Chase?
Very.
It is
wonderful.
Amazing. Got the family in the house again. Unfortunately, Dave is unable to attend for this show.
Dead.
Dave is dead.
Dead to all of us.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead to everybody.
We've replaced him. We'll get to that.
No, but Dave, he has some family emergency he has to get to. So unfortunately, you, ladies and gentlemen, will not be able to hear him on the podcast. However, I do have Chase. However, comma. Yes, there is a comma.
Yes.
I have Chase, bad karma. And I've got Dylan, D-Huck _ I really wish you would change that shit.
No.
Nope.
That's why it's better.
I have to now.
Yeah, it pisses him
Because
off.
it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Dylan from D-Huck _ LLL XOXO.
Wait,
Fuck you, Fred.
So what does that stand for?
Things.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest on the show tonight.
We got to have like a sound effect or something
I know,
for special
I don't have
guests,
a soundboard.
like
I need a
introduction
soundboard.
or something.
We don't need
like a drum roll. RP, what's going on, baby? What's up?
What's up?
This is RP from the Thepewpewchannel, man. How are you, man?
Good. How are you doing? Thank you for in the first place for inviting me here.
No, man. I appreciate you coming over, man. It's been pretty awesome. And we're trying to get deeper into the gun community, and I know that you're a big advocate in this, and it's wonderful for having you on, man. So the pleasure's all ours.
Oh, thank you.
So anyway, let me go ahead and get the sponsors knocked out of the way. And unfortunately, one of the sponsors isn't here to enjoy the show, so I should just be like, yeah, just go here.
Ow! Yeah, you should.
What the fuck did you just do?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
So anyway, so our first sponsor of the show, it's always at the top of the show, ladies and gentlemen, is CabalUSA.co. This is your number one stop shop for all the awesome swag, because you need to have the right gear. So go ahead and go to CabalUSA.co. Check out all the holsters that he just made. He just dropped the 365 and also the 320. He's got a 320 holster in there as well.
Where the fuck did he get a 320 from?
I don't know. I don't think he has one. I think he's making it up. But anyway, 320 holster.
He have
as
other
well.
friends?
He might.
He has other friends with 320s?
He might have other
Dave,
friends.
I'm going to fucking kill you.
So go ahead and go pick up all your awesome swag. And if you guys paid attention back in February, we had a 20% off. You could have took advantage of that, but now it's only 15% off, but it's still awesome for you. Just go in the promo code and type in Covert Standard, and this will give you 15% off your entire order. So you can go ahead and put in 2 coffee mugs, one with whiskey and one with coffee. You can have
or both with whiskey.
Or both with whiskey.
Yeah, that one.
Good idea.
Whiskey and bourbon.
Yeah.
Whiskey and bourbon, and then mix them together.
Ooh, that sounds terrible, but let's do it
Just
anyway.
sip out of each cup, just double fist. And then we also have
double fist you.
Whoa. Later, okay? I'm not drunk enough yet, Chase.
What did I show up to?
Yeah, welcome, RP. This is Covert Standard, the pornography
and
channel.
There he goes. He goes.
So you can go ahead and pick up a couple of T-shirts, a hoodie, and some stickers and everything. Add it to your cart, and then put in Covert Standard for your promo code and get 15% off. Our other sponsor of the show is Miguel over at iView Marketing, your number one stop shop for all print management services. It's everything ink and more. Just go ahead and go to iviewmarketing.com and you can go check them out. And you can get dicks printed on T-shirts if you'd like.
Why are you looking at me for that?
Because you like dicks. Like, I've got recordings
I can see
for
that.
proof.
I can see that.
You can get whatever you want printed on some T-shirts, some hats, and he does all types of corporate accounts and also
right. That's my bad.
local business accounts. So go ahead and check them out at iviewmarketing.com. Now that that's over with.
Thank you.
Kind of excited about this. Well, let's get into it, man. So basically, I just want to let you guys know that for those of you who don't know already, we're big in the 2A community. We each believe that our Second Amendment is very important. We also each believe that that we need to make sure we have a strong voice in it, because there's a strong voice on the other side that wants to take that right away, and it is your God-given right. And it's scary.
A lot of misconceptions.
Yeah, and I understand the worry of some people and everything, but man, sometimes you really just got to look at the reality of things. And I've noticed a lot, especially with the media being so fast nowadays. The social media platforms, you're getting your information so much quicker from the other side of the world. It makes it seem like there's so much bad stuff happening at once, but nothing's really changed. And they have to point the finger at something. The problem is they want to point the finger at the wrong things. It doesn't make any sense. And I tried telling this before. There's so many laws that they try to implement and try to pass Pelosi having that one pass the House, and it's wanting to implement more of a background check. But here's my thing, right? And I'm willing to agree with this, and you can mark my words with this. If you want to implement a law, if it would have changed any one of the situations, any of the bad, horrible, tragic, situations that happen, you name it, if it would have changed it or stopped it, then I'm all for it. But if it wasn't going to stop it, then I'm not for it. And that's kind of where my feet stand. I feel like that's fair, because I'm willing to compromise, but I'm only going to compromise if it was going to change the situation. So, I mean, I don't know if have you seen the bill?
No, I don't know how to read, so sorry.
Well, they have videos,
No, I don't have time for that.
So basically, the bill that they tried to pass in the House, they did pass in the House, but they're going for the Senate. I don't know if it's moving any more forward.
No, it's dead. I mean, it was.
What happened to fucking introducing RP right now?
Yeah, right? What happened?
Oh, we can skip that. I'm down to skipping that.
I'm working on this.
Right,
so we're segueing.
They passed it mostly because I think they knew it was going to fail. Like it was empty gesture. I mean, it kind of happens on one side or the other when we're in the scenario to where there's a president and half of the Congress is one party, and then either the House or the Senate is the other party. They tend to pass laws that they know have no chance of getting passed. So
and they just keep pounding at it.
Well, so they can turn around and talk to their constituents about saying that they did this. It's about like the next election season. It's about the next time they're going and trying to get money from people that they can go and say that they did this. It's grandstanding. It's standard politics.
Are you talking about the HR 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
The universal background check thing.
Yeah. So what do you think about it?
I personally believe that is a lot of BS.
Sure.
Federal background checks isn't going to really change much when it comes to criminals, because either way, criminals are going to get their hands on legal weapons, no matter what. And if you look at statistics, straight facts, 98% of mass shootings happen in gun-free zones. So for the most part, it's already set in law that these areas are designated gun-free zones, but yet these things are happening in those zones.
And it's like it's so blatantly there.
Exactly.
So here's my real issue with it is that it's empty. Like if they really gave a fuck about making an impact, they wouldn't be passing laws that are trying to demonize and make law-abiding citizens felons. If you go and sell a gun to somebody and you're not participating in this, they want to make you a felon.
Yeah, it's
versus
ridiculous.
They could improve the current system. They could say, hey, you know what, that background check that all FFLs have access to, we're going to open it up to the public to where if someone wanted to do a private sale, they could opt in to running a background check on the person that's buying a gun
not
from them.
Force them.
Correct.
Give them the option.
Opt in. And guess what? The majority of people that buy and sell guns don't want to supply guns to murderers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, most of us are law-abiding citizens. So if you give better support for law-abiding citizens, that's what people will use. But rather than do anything like that, they want to try to pass a law so that they can put regular people in jail.
I feel like they don't understand how responsible we gun owners are. Because when I personally sell guns, from private seller to private person, I don't just sell a gun just to a random person. I'm like, all right, you can buy it. Show me the cash.
Sure.
This is yours. I usually, before I do sell them, I make sure they have a concealed weapons permit.
Sure.
That's guaranteed because they have to go through a process to acquire that. But then if they don't have that, I usually be like, hey, are you willing to go to a FFL and do the transfer there? And if they're not, then I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, there's always options to do it better.
Yeah.
And but I like your idea.
I mean,
as well.
And how much better would be if the Democratic side that supposedly wants to make this country better came at it from the aspect of, hey, well, let me help you by making it easier to where you can log into a website, type your name in, and then hand the phone over to someone or ask them for their ID, and you type their information in and run that background check. You get a clear, and you sell them a gun. How is that a downside for anybody?
As long as you're not.
It's the opt-in.
Making it.
Yeah, it's the forcing of it.
Don't force it. Just allow them to go ahead. It would make transactions a little bit better.
Right.
I agree to that. And then also it's about voicing out as well. Our concerns in the community. For whatever reason, every time we try to come up with a solution on our end, they don't want to hear it. For instance, mental health. Why can't we be a little bit stronger in mental health?
Yes. Why can't we be? There's a lot to that.
There's a lot. Yeah, I know.
It's
And
complicated.
it really is complicated because, like, being an advocate for veterans and stuff like that. That was always one of the biggest things over there. Is like, okay, you want to go ahead and do that, but people are going to question, PTSD and stuff like that. But there's different levels of different things, and I don't think that should ever.
Are
be
you
brought
guys
into
familiar with an SSRI?
Mm.
It's like your common antidepressant medication that's used for a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
It's also found in almost every mass shooter system.
I was about to say
There's a common
Now,
depression medicine.
and that's one of those things. I'm not saying anything about that because, like, is it the chicken or the egg kind of thing? Is it because they were attempting to get...
Everybody knows it's the egg, Dylan. I don't know why we
It was
bring
the
this
chicken.
up. Fuck you. It's the egg.
Is it because they're trying to get help, or is it a terrible side effect of some of this medication that you don't really care about other people? The way SSRIs work is really not something that, even if you talk to doctors, they can explain that well. Like, they get like the basic broader thing of it, but then when you start talking to them of, okay, well, why are there different ones, and how is that going to affect other people's chemistry? And the answer is pretty much, it's kind of a guessing game. They generally do this. We don't know if it'll work. We will try something, and if it doesn't work, then we'll switch to something else and try it and see if it works.
Here's this medicine. Oh, you just killed somebody, or now you've been put into a mental facility. Let's change it to something else.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to fucking trial and error, and we're going to fuck that up. Yeah, that's always going to be a thing.
I just think it's weird that's not even part of, like, the national conversation.
Well, there's a lot of things that are not discussed that need to be discussed.
Yeah, who's going to discuss them? People don't want to waste their time when they're up there.
The covert standard.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
We got RP.
So welcome, RP. Welcome to the covert standard.
He
RP.
is never going to come back because of Grandpa.
Because Grandpa.
It smells terrible. And this motherfucker.
Terrible.
Grandpa did fart though.
Oh yeah.
What did you feed him? What did you feed him?
He feeds us dead animals. It's dead animals. It's what
He's
it
on
is.
that carnivore diet.
Yeah, that's what it is. So RP, man, tell
Yes,
me a
sir.
little bit about yourself, brother.
Well, my name's RP. I run the page, the Thepewpewchannel on Instagram. It just blew up in the last couple years. I just love, firearms. Ever since I was a kid, I just loved anything that had projectiles in it. I actually never owned a firearm until I graduated college, which I bought my first MMP9 VTAC edition, and I finally just fell in love.
That's a good one. I like the sights on that one. The VTAC sights are awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the glow, the trident, and blah blah blah. But anyway, my brother really was my inspiration when it comes to firearms because he's right now a lieutenant in the precinct over there in Louisville.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So he always had a passion for firearms, and he did a lot of videos on YouTube, and all that stuff, social media back in the day. And he really just, drove me to see what if it was something that enticed me. So I did that, and I started carrying, of course. And, ever since then, I just decided what really pushed me to start training was the fact that the Orlando shooting, the nightclub shooting.
Really?
Pulse Club.
Yeah,
that's heavy. That's heavy. Yeah, absolutely.
Was what actually pushed me to get serious in my firearms. Actually, I cared for a while, but I never really went to the range. I never really shot. I never really dry fired or anything like that. And then Pulse happened, and Pulse is like maybe a couple miles, 3 miles away from my house. And I was like, man, this stuff is serious. It does happen in real life. Because people don't realize that it's real.
Back to the mental thing.
Yeah, so I from there on, I just started training, carrying even more often, and just doing videos of my journey, and that's pretty much it. I just love the freedom to be able to protect yourself and be able to enjoy the sport as well.
So training is one of the things that I'm sure we can collectively agree that people need to train, because there are a lot of accidents that do happen as well. And like you said, and I'm guilty for it too. I'm sure there's other people that at some point, well, I haven't been guilty for too long, but there's a point where I carried a gun and I didn't train with it at all. I didn't take it to the range. I didn't take a class for somebody to show it to me. I mean, I've already gotten my classes kind of force fed to me when I was in the military, but outside in the civilian world, sometimes you don't even know the laws. So training is a very important thing. I'm glad you brought that up. That's actually really good. Yeah.
I mean, that's the number one thing people don't do. That's really frustrating. Like I'm obviously I've talked about it before. I'm in the sales side of firearms, and that's the number one thing that I try to talk to people about is that almost everybody sucks with guns, handguns in particular. They're terrible, and if they think they're not, there's a big glass window along 18 lanes of people out there shooting. You can watch them. Almost everybody is terrible. You buy a gun, you go out there, and you can vaguely keep most of it on a giant target. You just have to put in trigger time. Whether that's dry firing, buying a good holster, and working on your draw of defeating close, and drawing and presenting so that you are getting your presentation down of your sight picture, of your grip, of defeating that close, of making transitions, of when you're moving in awkward positions. If you don't do it, you're not going to get proficient at it. And then at the end of the day, pulling the trigger. I mean, there's universal mistakes people make when they are just getting into this that I let them know, like, hey, there's nothing I can tell you that's going to make that go away. So don't feel bad about it. 100% of people do it. Everybody flinches. Everybody is jerking the trigger and they're tensing up when the rounds are going
Chase
out.
doesn't flinch. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't ever flinch.
When you're new to firearms,
Flinch all the time.
When you're new to firearms, you're gonna do it, and the only way to not have that reaction is to practice.
It's a good
Put your
T-shirt.
time and more exposure.
Is it a hashtag?
It's a T-shirt. That's a hashtag. Get trigger time.
Get triggered.
I like it. Get triggered,
Bro, more practice.
Triggered time.
Yes, to more practice. Getting your mind right for it.
Yeah.
Get your mind
It's a
right
mental
for
game. It really is.
like. Yes, it's cool to fucking carry a gun. Military dudes, we used to carry a gun. Now you conceal it. It's a little bit different. You didn't get that transition type.
It's a huge difference. Yeah, I'm so used to walking through town with my fucking M16
open carry shit, not the concealed, all that type of shit. But getting your mind right, getting your bro, you know what this fucking gun's for, right? It's not cool. It's not Instagram cool. It's fucking shooting somebody in the fucking face.
Real life.
Yeah,
that's what it's
real
there for.
life. Exactly.
And then what happens after?
It's about not being a victim.
Sure.
It's about not becoming a sheep. That's what the fuck it is. I want that to be a fucking thing. Because everybody says don't be a sheep. We said that last show.
Yeah.
Don't be a sheep or don't
be a statistic.
No, don't become a sheep.
Don't be a statistic.
Is the way the word should be. Don't become a sheep. You are already your own person right now. Don't fucking join the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't know. All I wanted to bring back to
he was like, we're gonna go over.
I don't even know what we're talking about right now.
Sight pictures, sight alignment, trigger pull, and everything. So RP, I see you do a lot of tactics on your Instagram, which is pretty awesome. You do a lot of funny shit. Actually, my favorite videos is the one you do with the high points.
Oh yeah,
that's like my favorite because a lot of people underestimate any type of firearm, and of course, all of us can agree high points they're cheap. That whatever.
What are you talking about? High points are jams.
Yeah. so
Best thing ever.
I like that you came out with the high peasy. That shit was hilarious. And so like your inspiration on this stuff, like where did you decide to make comedy part of a serious thing?
I feel like the Second Amendment is such a huge topic in today's time. Everyone has such a negative view towards firearms and everything like that. I'm just trying to come in a different aspect and point of view to make it a little bit that guns are fun. They are safe if you practice and put your time with it, and that everyone can enjoy it. It's not something that's evil.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a gun sitting on the table ain't going to kill anybody. And the other day, a bad guy is what's going to be pulling the trigger. And people forget that. They tend to put especially in mass media right now, they're putting all the blame on firearms. But in reality, we got to focus more on something else.
It's the only thing that ever happens where they're blaming the object. Out of any situation that happens, if you ever hear about it, it's the only situation where the object is at fault.
Of course.
You get into a car accident or let's just say one of the mass killings with a car. They didn't come out saying that it was the car's fault. They came out and said it was the person's fault.
Yeah.
When a drunk driver gets behind the wheel, they don't blame it on the alcohol or the car. They blame it on the person.
The argument is that the only thing a firearm is good for is to murder people.
Which I absolutely disagree with.
Well, of course, they're dead wrong. They just don't know it.
Exactly.
How many RP? How many rounds do you think you've fired?
Oh man, I don't even know.
We need to get you a counter, bro.
Ballpark?
1 million.
Hundreds of thousands of rounds?
1 million rounds.
Be like this. A lot.
A lot.
Yeah,
there you go.
I don't know.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Sure.
I have to do an audit of my bank account.
Stand
see how
by.
much, lucky gunner. But I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't say 100,000. Probably 50,000.
Sure.
Somewhere around there.
Okay. How many people have you shot?
Zero.
Exactly.
And hopefully
Boom.
never.
We saw the case closed. Show's over. Show's over. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Case closed.
But it's that mindset. They have that mind, and trust me, I have plenty of liberal-minded friends. I've had this conversation many times. It's universal.
Yes,
they have that mindset. Even some supposedly fairly pro-gun people, they think that firearms are only good for killing people. That's why when something happens with a gun, they feel like there has to be restrictions.
The
on the
key
gun.
word is only good at killing people.
Mm-hmm.
It is a fantastic way to defend yourself. Absolutely, against anything. It's an equalizer. You break into my house, make a bad decision to harm me or my family. Then guess what? I'm going to equalize with this right here,
right?
Because you may have that object.
Listen. I know of a very small older lady that got attacked with a hammer. The guy broke into her house and had a hammer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If we lived in Australia or UK, that lady'd be dead. But we live in America. She had the right to own a gun. She did own a gun, and she's still alive and kicking. It's that simple.
And going back to the hammer thing, do you guys know that statistically, and this is facts, hard facts, that people die more from blunt objects such as a hammer, a baseball bat, than assault rifles?
Yeah, that's an actual statistic.
People don't understand that.
It's actually your hands.
And hands too.
Hands, a fist fight.
Didn't focus on it. Well, yeah, hands and fists, because fucking bad people are going to hurt you no matter which way. It doesn't need a fucking tool for that.
Yeah, but intent and violence are two vague objects that politicians can't wrap their heads around. So it's easier to just blame an object and pretend like they can solve the problem there.
And from what I see, I don't know if this is true or not. This is my theory out there, is that I feel like for the people, not the majority of people is against firearms as the mass media tends to portray.
They try to make it seem like a bigger group. They make it seem like
a huge group of people in the U.S. Oppose us from practicing our right. But in reality, it's probably a small group of people that actually feel that way. But, the mass media is controlled by certain politicians and certain groups. I'm not going to...
Very left-leaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Not every approach is, but some, yes, a lot of it's left-leaning.
But exactly. I feel like the mass media is pushing out an agenda out there, and I personally believe that.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I feel like there's a large portion of the United States that's just kind of indifferent on it. They don't really think strongly one way or another. It's something that they don't partake in, so they don't really have too much of a
opinion on it.
Right. Right. I mean, I always liken it to like if all of a sudden the Amish people had control of how fast cars are able to drive. When you have something that just doesn't pertain to your life at all, it's really easy to be like, well,
redundant. It's redundant to them.
10 round capacity. That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Why do you need it? You don't need a rifle. Why? Just a handgun.
They want us to compromise for something that we don't need to compromise for.
If you're an Amish person, well, yeah. I mean, if people drive 65 miles an hour, they're going to die. I mean, I don't know why you need to drive any faster than 35 miles an hour. I mean, that's the mindset of a lot of people, and that's why I like doing this, of trying to put a message out there of, listen, there are other uses of it, and it's not about going out and harming other people. It's just about not being a victim.
Yeah.
I practice and train a lot, and it's not to harm anybody. I would much rather talk my way out of a situation, and for my entire adult life, that's all I've ever done. Even though I've trained very seriously on firearms, I've only ever talked my way out of situations. I haven't even been in a physical altercation with someone, not in my 20s, and now that I'm in my 30s and an old bastard. Not at all.
Hey.
You got a lot of gray hair going on, by the way.
Hey. Okay,
yeah, it looks good on him. The natural pan is getting those grays.
Shut the fuck up.
I was talking about you, D.
What?
Yeah.
I'm fucking blonde.
Hey,
that's how you hide your grays better than me, motherfucker. I got black hair. That's why.
But yeah, I mean, I don't own guns because I want to hurt people. I own guns because I don't want to be hurt. And that doesn't mean, like, if you have a firearm on you, that's part of what I was getting back originally when we started talking about this. I feel like firearms sometimes are like a whoopee for certain people. I feel like
I love my whoopee.
Just because
I got a whoopee hoodie. I fucking bought one. It's awesome.
Just because you have a gun on you doesn't mean you won't be a victim. Like if I get shot in the face and I have a gun on me, I'm still shot in the face. Yep. So like that doesn't solve. That doesn't solve.
I'm gonna make that a shirt.
But it does help my chances. it gives me way more of a fighting chance if I'm in any kind of scenario where I need
especially
a
if it escalates.
Right.
Something more.
If I'm shot in the face with a gun on me, I'm still shot in the face.
still dead.
Yes.
I like it. I like that shit.
Fucked up.
Hashtag fucked up. Hashtag face shot.
Face blasted.
Face blasted.
Yeah, face blasted. Better than chest blasted.
Nah, I don't know, man. Chest blast was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Sorry,
but yeah,
that's
man,
my diatribe.
But yeah, I think you need, in general, if we're talking about not being a victim, you need to learn to fucking talk to people and try to get your way out of it.
Verbal jiu-jitsu.
Verbal judo.
Yeah.
Some combatives.
Of
If we're
course.
talking
Hands to hands.
fisticuffs.
Yep.
You're not
And
very
then-
good at verbal jujitsu.
I am very
You
good
are
at
not good at
I
you are
am actually
absolutely
really,
not
I
good.
just met Chase, but seeing him, he'll probably be the person like, fuck you!
Exactly. See, he just met you.
bro. I am very good at verbal
he's
judo.
gonna-
Racial
hit him.
profiling.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
He's going to hit him with that smolder look.
Yes, he's gonna give him that look like, really, asshole.
No. Guy.
Fuck you, I'm gonna shoot
Guy.
you.
Oh yeah. Guy. Listen,
Guy.
Come on,
Shut the
guy.
fuck up, guy. Guy.
He's talking about
So,
verbal jujitsu.
verbal judo-
What is verbal judo?
Verbal
Wait,
judo.
what is this?
Learning your way to get out of a fight
Using what?
using your mouth.
Using your mouth. Okay,
Not
listen.
the oral type guy. I know that's where you're going.
He's
There, yep. See, I got you.
So
It's already
Chase
there.
likes dicks.
Oh, we're talking.
Chase likes dicks.
Okay, we're
and then
counting.
now Chase is
One,
talking about how he gets out of a fight with using his mouth. Okay,
2.
all right. Let me explain it to me.
Okay, I'm sorry. You were counting.
No,
No,
I stopped
okay.
at 2.
Oh, okay, good. Go ahead. No, verbal judo. Get your way out of a fight. Being it here. How
You
about
know,
this?
I'm also guilty for that though.
Shit.
Shut up. It's all hard. Okay, so like you get to a point and you try to de-escalate a situation, right? By explaining to him like, hey man, don't want a problem, right? You're in a situation, I don't want a problem. I sometimes have a problem when it keeps going past that point. I did my part.
Know your exits too. Like sometimes just getting physical distance can solve a lot of problems too. Again,
I said that to my ex and she didn't believe that.
Damn.
So, I mean, sometimes that's just not an option. But when it's you, or if it's you and a girl, and you have the ability to just start walking towards, the door,
Throw the girl at him.
That's Chase's. That is exactly Chase's fucking. That is exactly what he does. All right, step 1. Here I am counting again, Chase.
Yep,
Step 1. Chase gives him the smolder look,
Guy.
and then step 2, he says, "Guy." Step 3, he tries to walk away. Step 4, throws girl at said guy. That's how Chase gets out of that situation.
You ever beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker? That right there.
This is why Chase is. Never mind.
Yep, there you go. So verbal
Hashtag
judo.
firehead.
Yep.
Fucking learn a little bit of combatives, and then we're talking shoe sticking
Throwing
people.
girl at
That's
person.
combatives, bro.
Yes, throwing girl
Beating
at
a motherfucker
object.
with another motherfucker.
Yeah, in
is
jiu-jitsu,
combatives.
they teach you that as well. So
See?
you throw a female.
So, bam.
person.
You already know where I'm at.
It's better if they're naked.
Yes,
Then,
it
you
is
know,
better because of
Distracted.
distraction.
Total distraction.
Yes, and then you can make your exit.
100%.
Hashtag distracted.
This is how we make a better
100%
world.
effective.
We all have to have a
Naked
girl.
girls. Naked girls.
We make them all naked, and we just throw them at each other,
quickly-
and then we wear away.
How quickly this devolves.
We go from, listen, we don't want our guns taken away and everything like that, but we will throw naked women at another person. I like it.
But yeah, back to that, and also don't forget compliancy. Sometimes compliancy can work. Nobody wants to be compliant because it makes you look weak. But in the end of the day, I'm going home to my wife and kids. I'm going
Yeah,
home.
absolutely.
I'm going home. I'm alive. And I'll tell you, I was born and raised in Africa. Okay, I lived there 18 years of my life, and I've seen some shit that people can't really.
Yeah, you probably
experience ever.
they won't even know over here.
I've had my guns pointed at me, gunpoint, and everything like that in war zones in West Africa. And compliancy did help a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, verbal jiu-jitsu, my dad was able to smooth talk his way out, and we were able to leave, unscathed. But for the most part, compliance and being able to talk to somebody and just being reasonable with them can go a long way. As in, like, no one wants to admit that they just bent over and be like, here, do whatever you want.
Sure.
But in the end of the day, you're going home.
Take my wallet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if someone was to carjack me right now on my way home, I'll probably be like, here, take the keys. I'll probably never draw my gun. Even though I know I can effectively draw my gun and probably put some rounds into him, but I probably wouldn't because I don't want to deal with the extra stuff that comes with.
Right.
Yeah, it all depends on the situation.
And then
too. I thought about
If
that
you
too.
fear for your life, it's different.
Oh, yeah.
If
Versus
there's a gun, I have a gun.
Now it's different though. If someone comes in the store that I'm in and starts popping off rounds, that's a whole different story.
Sure.
Right.
But in the end of the day, I'd rather go home.
I kind of thought that you were going to go down this rabbit hole
I'm not going anywhere.
when you're talking about stuff that's good to have on a daily basis. I thought you were going to go down the medical route.
Nope, I was not.
Nope.
Why don't we let RP go into it?
Do you have a daily medical, like a small kit that you carry
So
with
besides
you?
gun, what do you carry with you?
What's
What's your gun of choice? Let's go.
gun of choice?
Take it out.
Well, right now, I'm
Take it out.
carrying my...
We're just giving like 5 questions.
Ooh, he got a green
I
beam.
got a green laser on it.
He got a
Don't
beam
hate
on it.
I have a
He's
reason
got a
for
reason.
that, all right?
He's
I
got
have
a
a reason
laser.
for that.
Beam on it.
So right now-
if it's other than chasing or having
Yeah.
the dog run around the room.
Bro,
No, I'm just kidding.
No. Awesome.
So right now I'm carrying my G40, 2. It's in 380 auto. It has a Virgin laser on it, and I got a spare mag here, of course. The main reason I have a laser on it, a lot of people look down on me like, oh, why are you carrying a laser? As in, like, I personally could be fine without it. But if I'm in my car or somewhere very confined, I can easily just point the gun. The red dots are the green lasers are right there. I don't have to,
I like lasers. I like lasers.
I
a
don't-
lot.
point and shoot. That's all it is.
I don't fight against
But,
laser. What I fight
Yes,
against
he
is the
does.
people.
Yes, he
hold
does.
on.
Who use it as a
Both of
Who
them
use
do.
it
As
as
a
their
primary-
only thing.
as the primary
Is
thing,
their
yeah.
primary thing. That's what I'm
for
against.
aiming. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that have the common misconception they want to learn off a laser.
Yeah.
If that laser fails, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
no, I'm not against the fucking laser. I'm against it making it as a primary device of
Yeah,
aiming.
exactly.
Yeah,
But
It's a good choice, though.
Yeah,
It's a good choice.
As Dylan was saying, though, yes, I do carry a medical kit in my car.
Mm-hmm.
I have it in one of those ammo boxes because it's weatherproof.
Sure.
I pretty much have everything you can think of: tourniquets.
So what's the
CPR
most
mask and all that.
important thing you think to have as a tool?
CPR mask and the knowledge of using or the knowledge of CPR.
Good
Oh,
job.
nice.
Because
I like
honestly, in the end of the day, one out of four is going to have a heart attack. So the chances of you seeing somebody out in
job.
public
I need to
passing
get a
out
CPR
or
mask.
going to a cardiac arrest are extremely high.
Don't for you, no.
Yeah.
For him, yes. You don't need a mask. Don't put your fucking face
You
on
don't,
him.
you don't need a
I
mask,
just
honestly.
because I have a tendency of using my tongue when I get put mouth to mouth. I need a mask. I don't want to
You're
fucking
using your tongue on
every
other
single person.
motherfuckers.
Don't get jealous, Chase. Don't. I don't. We can do this right here in the
Bro,
motherfucking studio. I don't give a fuck if it's full auto.
Bro, you're going to be upset.
No, but CPR mask. You know what's funny is I've asked that question probably to hundreds of people.
Yep.
Nobody ever brings up the CPR mask.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
CPR mask is important, but the ability to perform CPR is
Yes.
your main thing you need to
Right.
do. So go out there, take a CPR class, a basic course, and it only takes about
Yes.
a couple hours.
Get
And
more
you're
training.
most likely going to use that than a tourniquet. No offense to all the IG operators out there, but your chances of using a tournament are extremely low unless
This
it's
guy
your
right
field of work.
I'm-
Unless you're
I'm
a law
guilty of it,
enforcement
too.
or in
That's
the
me.
range often, then honestly you're not going to use one. But it's good to have one just in case.
That's
Well,
my favorite
yeah.
meme, by the way. The special kid from The Simpsons. You know what kid I'm talking about?
Yes.
I'm in danger.
It says, "Pew pew tourniquet." I'm a medic.
I'm a medic. Yeah, so I'm in the same boat too. Like tourniquet
Yeah.
is definitely one of the most important
Oh,
tools.
it's important,
but I
yeah.
also have now I even have better tools for it for sucking chest wounds. The reason
yeah.
why is because I'm preparing myself for a gunshot,
Yeah.
and I know how to use it. I know how to use an
Yeah.
I could do it to the point where I can use an ID card. What's up?
I got that. I know. I got all that. I got that military shit. I got
Okay.
new age shit.
Go get your ID card right now. Go.
I don't have.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Uh,
So
card.
no, yeah, you don't have it readily prepared.
I don't have an ID. I got a
You
fucking
can use any one of those
veterans
cards.
card.
That thing's old. I bet you that's expired as fuck,
Yeah, of
isn't
course
it?
it is. Been out of the military forever.
I think you and I got our little green cards there almost the same time.
We did.
Like I got mine renewed when you got yours.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, dog.
Oh,
Grandpa.
I told you, man.
Grandpa.
Something crawled up his butthole and died, bro.
No, it's what he's feeding them. He's feeding them roadkill. Like they stop at the side of the road. He feeds them a fucking dead raccoon.
Look at this dog. He's huge.
That's how he got it. But yeah, so medical, I think is, and we all can agree that I think is another important thing that people don't brush themselves up
Yeah,
on.
of course.
I also recently, I'm looking for classes to take right now because I want to learn more.
Yeah.
I also have, I've got people that know stuff that basically give me some like heads up and pointers. But I want to take legit medical classes because I do know a lot about a little, but a little bit about a lot. And I don't feel like it's sufficient enough just yet. I want to get my certs for CPR, so I think that was
good.
that was a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
CPR because I don't think anybody's ever. So besides CPR, what would be like your secondary?
When it comes to medical, a lot of Band-Aids.
Not good.
Band-Aids and gauze.
You know what? I had this argument with somebody. I can't remember who it was, but basically I say
it was me.
It probably was you. Most of the things that you have to patch up in your boo-boo kit is a small cut because you want to let's for instance we're going survival mode, end of the world survival mode. Zombie episode 25.
Bro, it's not 25 yet. Don't talk about that shit.
We have an episode 25. Episode 25 is our special zombie episodes. The 2-hour episode. It's going to be awesome.
Stupid. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. So anyway, end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time you're going to be patching up small cuts, minor abrasions because infections is what you're going to have to fight off.
Yeah.
So I'm all about that. Band-Aids, gauze, wrapping tape, antiseptic, bacillation, whatever it is that I have to carry. But Grandpa, get away from me.
He's all about the end of the world of Band-Aids. I like Band-Aids because it's the most common thing you're going to use.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not saying.
So, like, I like
end of the world. I'm saying.
I get what you meant. I get what you meant.
Duct tape.
I like
Duct tape.
kind of
For Band-Aids.
all the medical
For
stuff
Band-Aid
I
things.
have is kind of split into two. It's in one set, but it's split up between like a boo-boo kit or a boo-boo kit or a trauma kit, basically.
There is a difference.
Yeah. Did I get cut by a homeless man, or did I cut my finger on a?
Why?
Yeah,
Just a random homeless dude?
I have to take a class on how to use.
He infuses the blade with AIDS.
Jesus.
Yeah, I have to take another course. I want to take multiple courses so I can get brushed up on it, but I want to do more serious stuff.
The medical stuff I was trying to talk to you about. I'm drawing a blank now. Dark Angel Medical.
Dark Angel, yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out a way of getting a class together with them. I would like to do something like as much as I want to do like a shotgun course or a rifle course. A medical course is probably the thing I would get most out of.
Yes.
Yeah,
You are absolutely correct.
Yo, talking about medical, you need to take your dog to the hospital because his fart stinks, bro. I'm here dying.
He likes you too.
Brought to you by Blue Diamond. Taste of the Wild.
We had to explain on the entire episode on who Grandpa is.
Yeah,
because there was a point in time where we were just saying, "Oh, Grandpa, you stink," and we forgot that it's an audio show. Nobody knows who the fuck Grandpa.
Exactly.
So we think that we're talking about Grandpa's fucking farting up the studio and shit like that. So yeah, it's been crazy. So medical kit. Do you have multiple? Do you have?
I have one big one in my car, that in the ammo can, and then I carry one as well in my work bag. My work bag has like 3 tourniquets, a CPR mask, Trex arms, the full med kit pack that they have. That's all the stuff you need for like chest wounds and major bleeds.
Which tourniquet?
So,
which tourniquet?
oh, the cat tourniquet.
Okay.
Yeah, Gen 3.
We have what, cat, softies, and rat tourniquet.
I like that softy.
A lot of people don't like the rat tourniquet.
I don't think the rat is effective.
Well,
I personally don't.
I carry it because of kids.
Yeah.
Like they were right. That was a good point because a lot of the softies and the other one is when it's too big for like little children or little small kids that might have an injury. So I got one just because of kids.
Honestly, all the tourniquets in the market currently right now can work and work good if you use it right.
Yeah.
And it all depends on efficiency and what's more reliable, honestly. And I find the Cat Gen 3 to be the most efficient and the most reliable when it comes to the tourniquet world. Honestly, I can use a cord, right? Like I could use this cord right here and use it as a tourniquet and it will work. But it's not as efficient and, reliable as a Cat tourniquet. So everything will work. It will work. Whatever.
Yeah, it's all. I probably have some expired shit in my fucking medical kit. I just thought about it right now.
Probably.
I've had that kit for a long. I've got one for the house. I've got one for my vehicle.
Yeah.
And I have one that I can take mobilely if I need to. So when I go out to the range, I usually take the mobile one out of the car.
If you have fucking cat's tourniquets, get it out of the fucking sun. If it's in your car, get a fucking the softy, because the fucking windlass will when you need it the most.
Yeah, I just thought about that. I don't know what I have. I have 2 of them in the car.
That's why I use an ammo can as a container, because then it's weatherproof.
Very
smart. Right.
No water, no humidity, nothing can get in there.
Do you still carry pocket medical? I know you used to.
Yeah, you used to always.
I don't have it in this shit because I have it on.
What's your usual pocket medical?
I don't know anymore. Usually fucking tourniquet. What's the old green fucking
Israeli bandage?
Israeli bandage, fucking some duct tape, and then gauze.
Yeah.
Got it.
Something that you can patch something up real quick. Yeah.
That's easy. And duct tape. Duct tape for me, like little fucking duct tape. Yes, the Band-Aids, yes. Definitely good. I use the duct tape as a band-aid.
I have a stethoscope.
That's all I do.
I have a
What are you gonna do? Listen to their heart while they're bleeding out.
I swear to God,
his heart is slowing down.
I did it. I did it purely for humor.
Wait, hold on. Yep.
Yeah.
I did it purely.
He's bleeding out.
Bro,
I
He's
did it.
definitely bleeding out.
Oh, you fucked up, dude. You about to die. I can hear it.
Bro, I'm a nurse, and I probably wouldn't even use a stethoscope.
So I used to have a connect with my ex. I used to have a connect on getting medical gear and stuff like that. I'm not going to explain how, but
Yeah, please don't.
I know.
one of the things that was given to me was a stethoscope, and I was like, "What the fuck am I going to do with this?" So I put it in the bag in the truck just for comedic purposes. So when I open it to show somebody my bag, I'm like, "Yeah, I got a stethoscope," just so I can see what the reaction is on their face.
Honestly, yeah, I'm fucking with you, but in the end of the day, like, say if there's an apocalypse, scenario, honestly, it will be good to have a stethoscope if you know how to use it. Of course,
I am not a doctor.
If you know how to use it,
He don't know how to use it.
I am a
Alright,
shooter.
in that case, that's pointless. You can use it as a tourniquet. Then
I use it. I use it purely just to hear the heart rate rise on certain occasions. That's about it.
What occasions are these?
What occasions? Exactly. I want to know what occasions this
Let me
are.
hear this.
Listen, I'm not.
Do you have a nurse outfit?
I'm not going into my fantasy world. I'm not going into my fantasy world right now. Let's continue on with this.
I want to be in your fantasy world.
If we're being serious about the medical stuff, generally,
we're
it's
not.
just.
I just talked about my fantasy about a stethoscope and a
We're
heart
not
rate.
being serious.
We're not being serious.
Waiting till EMT gets there is all I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's trying to.
You ready for your medical kit? Have a good phone with a good service.
Exactly.
Well,
Honestly, like, say if someone gets shot, you're out in public, just apply pressure.
yeah.
Hard pressure.
Sure. Yeah.
As hard as you can.
So
If you don't have a
prompt.
tourniquet, apply pressure as hard as you can. Call 911. Have someone rotate if you get tired of holding pressure, but make sure you keep that pressure on there. Honestly, with any kind of puncture wound.
Put a knee into him instead of like on the
There you
fucking...
go. Exactly. Put your whole weight on him if you have to.
And
Sit
then
on him.
and then
needle-
you can
a needle D?
use.
Yeah.
A needle D?
You're gonna use you need a little bit of work on that needle D.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know. I don't even know why. I get some crazy shit. Let's just put it that way. I can obtain some crazy shit out there. So medical, we've got that, but I think it's knowledge too. There's a lot of people, like for instance, that get out, military law enforcement that think that they are the experts in certain groups, but if you don't keep it up and keep training, you won't get to it. So that's why we want to do medical courses. So I think we should do. I think I'm going to try to look for some more and see if we can get as a group where all of us can go over there and fucking take another medical course and just take it up on it. I'm all about that shit.
How about we do that while podcasting it?
We can do that.
In
we
fact,
can take it.
I can get somebody here to teach us CPR right here while we
Dude,
do the
I'm
podcast.
fucking down. Let's do that
I
shit.
have people that
I'll clear the
teach
table.
We
We'll
can
put
do
the
it.
fucking person in the middle, and we will talk about the shit on
We
the
can
air.
do it, bro. I got people that can teach
Stay
you that
tuned for
here.
the CPR episode. We are going to learn how
I'm
to
serious.
fucking CPR
I
this
can get somebody who
motherfucker.
can come here and teach us that. Teach us how to use a tourniquet right and stop bleeds and all that. Suction, chest wounds. I got
So
somebody
I'm
who can
trying
do
to.
that.
I'm taking this to video.
Yeah.
I'm getting the cameras all together, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning the editing program. So we might even be able to put this on video too.
That would be
But
fun.
as of right now, it's going to be audio. So we're going to describe. So right now, RP is raising his head. Okay. And then RP is lowering his mouth. He's putting his lips.
And Fred's pulling out a
And,
stethoscope.
and Fred's pulling out the stethoscope
Yeah,
to
you
listen
did.
to his chest. Yeah,
You did.
So yeah, dude, I'm totally down. Let's fucking do that shit. Hell yeah, we'll sign that shit up. And yeah, but I definitely want to do that. I think we should do more like that as a group. So now along with that, all right. So firearm courses is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like medical courses is important. We all are pretty proficient with firearms, but do you shun against it? Do you shun against more training?
Fuck no.
Not at all. Not at all.
He likes
although
you too much.
I would
he likes you.
I would think that for me, I would gain more out of a rifle or a shotgun course than a pistol course. I'm still open to a pistol course anyways. You know what? Anything that I think I'm, proficient at, there's always weak points. There's always ways to get stronger. That's why I love competitions, is to show me how I suck and what I need to practice on. And maybe I'm getting a little bit overconfident in something to where I'm not training up on it enough to where my skills are slipping a little bit. And you need that reality check. I mean, shooting's a perishable skill. Having the motor skills of doing your reloads proficiently, clearing jams proficiently, transitioning, manipulating with your sling. That's why I love competition. That's all I can say, is that I have changed my gear and my mentality on a lot of things from competition. And it's funny because I watch these guys that I'm shooting with, and they don't change. They don't change their setup or how they're doing it, and they make the same mistakes every single month. And I'm sitting here kind of baffled of like, what are you doing here? Why aren't you taking the lessons you're learning right now and applying it?
So, okay, so doing training with firearms is one of the things that we should always stay up on. So, because you're right, it is a perishable thing. Medical is a perishable thing. What about your choices of what you train in? So you remember, I think Chase brought it up last time. One man with 100 guns versus a man with one gun that's trained with it, 100 times. Which one is going to be basically your go-to?
Yeah.
And I think training with your particular weapon is actually what you really want to do. So, what about? So, are you guys familiar with John Lavelle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So John Lavelle does a lot of
Warrior-
trainings and stuff like that.
Warrior Poet Society.
Warrior
Man
Post
crush.
Study.
Man crush.
Yeah, is that it? Do you want to see his dick?
I have all of them, all the man crushes. But yes, that one.
You do. You really do have all the man crushes.
You're right.
So, along with that being said, what is your gun choice? Do you believe a handgun was be your? Let's say house. We'll stick with house defense. Do you think a handgun, doesn't matter the caliber, a long gun, doesn't matter the caliber, or shotgun? We're going to separate shotgun and long gun.
If I'm being honest, what I actually do, it depends on if I'm feeling frisky or not.
So when Dylan's getting all frisky and everything, he's like, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my CZ.
Full auto.
Most nights it's a handgun. Sometimes it's the 9mm carbine, and sometimes it's a shotgun. It's very rare that it's AR-15 5.56.
So along with your frisky thing, it's always usually a handgun. It's a full size. I don't care about how big it is. Full size with flashlight.
Yes,
I'm really
do.
big.
The bigger, the better.
You do.
Flashlight is nice.
Listen, I'm Asian.
I'm
Asian. I have to compensate somewhere.
I keep I keep a handheld flashlight next to the bed with the gun.
If you don't have a handheld,
whether it has a flashlight or not, because sometimes I'll go to a gun that doesn't have a rail. I have some old school guns.
Yeah.
But
he'll clear his fucking house with a cowboy action. This motherfucker has a flashlight and a fucking a Ruger.
You talking Preacher Dylan?
Hey,
yes, Preacher Dylan.
I do not own a Ruger.
Sorry.
Strike that from the record.
Sorry, I thought you did.
Nope.
What's your
Yes,
cowboy
you do.
action?
I own
What's your
Ruger.
LCP2 you own?
That's true.
Ruger, bam, I
Yeah.
win. Go ahead.
He does win. So shut your mouth. No, what lever action do you have? Or not lever?
It's Single Action Army. It's a reproduction of a Colt Single Action Army from Freedom Arms.
For some reason, I thought you had a Ruger.
Nope.
Do you have a
Fuck
speed?
Ruger. Ruger changes things.
You have a what?
Do you have a speed holster for that?
I have like
Yes.
Those cowboy
Western,
speed shooting.
Western,
Yeah.
Yes, he
I
does.
do.
Yes, he does.
I can fucking.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
The glove
Yeah,
and
don't let him
everything.
lie
He
to you.
sits at
Yes, he
home.
does.
He has a cowboy hat
Leaning
and
back
boots,
and
and he's fucking
A couple episodes that aired, they talked about how when I'd get too drunk at my house, I just bust out the fucking.
It's actually the last episode.
It's a real thing.
Episode 13.
when this
the
airs,
preacher.
though. Yeah.
The preacher. I love it.
preacher
I love that
episode,
we
yeah.
introduced the preacher. That's my favorite person in the world. Yeah. So you're saying handgun.
Yeah, mostly
shotgun.
handgun. Mostly handgun, sometimes shotgun, sometimes 9mm. It's technically a pistol, but it's got an arm brace on it. You can get 3 points of contact, a little bit more stable.
RP.
Scorpion.
What do you think?
Honestly, I'm gonna go.
He's like slingshot.
I'm gonna go against popular belief. Instagram, they tend to blow things up.
Sure.
Like, shotgun or rifle. Rifle's better than pistol. Pistol's better than
Sure.
whatever. But in the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you have. If someone sees you coming out with a gun and you're popping rounds off, they're gonna get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I don't care
agree.
what you have: a shotgun,
hopefully.
rifle, a freaking machine gun, a cannon. As soon as they
Do you
hear
have a cannon?
What do you?
I wish I did.
do you have a cannon?
Just
I
real
wish I
talk
did.
though. Like, what do you have next to you when you're sleeping?
For me, it varies. It depends on what I'm carrying. Usually, it's my shotgun, my KSG.
Yeah.
It's always there by my bedside. But if I put it in the safe, it's whatever pistol I'm carrying, on my regular basis.
Sure.
So for now,
KSG. I like that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Keltec. For me, we'll go for the viewers. It's what you're comfortable with.
We don't have viewers
or listeners. We'll have viewers.
We will. We will have
Soon
viewers
enough.
soon enough. We will. I'm working on it.
For the kids out there listening, go with what you're comfortable with and use that and
Exactly.
get proficient with what you got.
Whatever you train with.
Yeah. Carbine.
That's what you
Carbine
keep
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
Yes.
go back and forth out of the safe with it?
no, it stays like I have it like rigged up right next to the bed. And carbine, the fucking
The full.
14.5.
Yeah.
Not fucking this 10-inch bullshit. 14.5 red dot, good torch on it, and then know how to work my angles.
Torches, man. I'm all about flashlights. People sleep on things like that. Like flashlight being an actual attachment. That's a real attachment.
You need to see what the fuck you're shooting at.
So
Exactly.
I think the reason we brought up John Lavelle Levitt, whatever
because he's
it is,
handsome.
Was a video I sent to you two of he did in conjunction with Iraq veteran 8888 talking about the difference between clearing a room for yourself versus something that you might have been taught in the military as you're working with a team.
Team tactics by yourself, man. I love it. I actually watched that video.
It's not a team tactic if you're by yourself, guy.
He said versus.
You go ahead and tell my imaginary friend that's over my shoulder right now. He's going to punch you in the face.
I'm over here.
That. Oh yeah, you're my So I imagine you.
Yes.
Can you guys see this guy?
Yes.
Okay, we're good.
It's so good they know about it.
They know it. So I loved it. I loved everything about it. It actually gave me one tactic that I really didn't think about, and it's simply this. I'm so used to because I've trained this way. I'm so used to dynamic entry, right? Which we didn't call it dynamic entry, but I like the way it sounds. But basically, is burst your way in, get your corners, pick your way to the room, and boom, 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 clear the room. Doing it by yourself is completely different. You can't just run in there and do it. Well, you can, but
it's going to have bad consequences, more than likely.
I like what he came out with. The fact that you open entry and then step way the fuck back and then give yourself small angles.
Working angles. Yes, we're slicing pie. We want to see everything before we go into things. That's why you can't have too much, well, we'll hear this argument, you can't have too much lumens on your fucking torch.
Yeah.
Because you want to see things. Or work your fucking light switches. Okay. And you turn your fucking lights on because then we can see things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then fucking for the torch, because Dylan doesn't like this argument, is get some lumens. Get it bright. I want to see everything.
Yeah, that's an argument between you two.
I'm trying. Listen, everything we argue about, I feel like we do this to each other. We've been doing it for almost like a decade now. Like it's. I'll have an opinion and you'll have an opposing opinion because we have to argue about everything. And then I will slowly talk you into something.
What?
And then
you're talking how I talked you into things.
But
they forced him.
No. This is forced. Hold on. This is bullshit.
By the time I start thinking how you're thinking, then you have changed your position too, and then we fucking still argue.
I've moved on.
Do you believe in lights, RP? Do you believe in lights?
These things.
Yes, I do. Of course, it's
I've seen you train with lights.
Yeah, of course. I did a low light with Perfectus Group. Highly recommended.
Nice.
I was gonna ask you, or you guys at least, for those who the listeners, what kind of classes can we take as civilians to learn this kind of tactics? Because we're in a different level compared to the general public.
Sure.
Not trying to brag or anything, but where can people, regular civilians, take classes so they know this kind of tactics?
There's a lot of searching that's going to have to go, and a lot of research to go into this because there are multiple, either former military or our military, prior law enforcement, people basically that have done strong tactics to actually go for. So one of them that I worked for or worked with for a while is Bulldog Tactical. They do one-on-one beginners classes, and they can go up to advanced classes. They do K licenses and stuff like that. Those are just one person I know.
Yeah.
There are other people that I'm trying to go into, like Bushido Tactical. I had my buddy Jay. He ended up doing Bushido Tactical's course. It was like a 3-day course or whatever, not fully geared up, and I mean hardcore, just pounding at it. So you can find a lot of tactics.
Pounding at what? Are we talking about Jay?
Yes.
Oh, he was pounding at something. That was for
He's
sure.
pounding at multiple things.
Motherfucker.
So I recently toured a really, really high-end training facility. It's a private group. I got into it with helping this individual out with soundproofing since I've been redoing my range. He needed help, so I helped him on one of his rifle ranges. He has a multi-range setup. It's a multi-million-dollar facility. And he took me into his low light training facility and kind of going through things and started running like just little brief conversations and like I wouldn't say full scenarios, just like kind of the introduction to what people are generally fail to think about, especially in the competition community of firearms. And then he started asking me, well, what training have you had? Because a lot of the stuff he was talking about I've already thought about. I wouldn't say by any means I'm a master at anything, but I've thought about and I drill. I can't say that I do anything more than that, but I drill.
Oh, you drill all right.
Does this have to do with a nurse costume and stethoscope?
I've never been to any official training ever. Not anybody's class at all.
Gotcha.
I've been a gunsmith to where I was paid to shoot every single day, so that allowed me to get incredibly proficient at one particular aspect of shooting. And through conversations with assholes in this room,
what asshole? What's going on?
Jesus.
You asshole!
Pointed out, and then obviously a lot of really high end instructors that put good information out online started pointing out of like, hey, I'm doing things that work when I'm doing it slow, but as I speed things up, it's not going to be consistent. I'm going to have failures, and then I've just kind of built from there. The light stuff, like. Talk about low light training and the high lumen stuff. I recently got the 1000 lumen X300.
Yeah.
I like that light.
Oh, yeah.
I like it too. I've been playing around with
Chase
it.
doesn't like it.
Doing drills.
No, I love it.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Doing drills.
This motherfucker.
Doing drills in the house. I'm generally of the perspective that between 350 to 650 in-house is generally easier on the eyes and still gives you plenty of light to be able to assess the situation versus 1000 lumens is really disorienting to the user. I'm
especially
trying
in a confined rooms, smaller rooms.
Right. So it's fantastic outdoors.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to break myself of it. This guy thinks it's probably the greatest thing ever.
This is like 850 on this bitch, and this works. I mean, no, I like, more lumens. More lumens, the better.
Better.
If it's
Here's what I found.
The power of the sun,
1 million,
beating that,
1 million
maybe
more
a little too much.
When I'm using it differently than I was before, and that's what's helping me.
He turns it on for 3 seconds and it melts your skin. That's what I want. I want to turn it on.
Fuck them.
So, just writing what you just said. Like, you can be good by teaching yourself. People don't realize that you don't have to take so many classes
you don't.
and spend so much money on training.
By no means is that an argument that you don't need that. I'm just saying that
you can be good. You can be proficient.
Yes,
like I'm
and
self-taught
no.
for the most part.
Yes and no, because you can learn some fucking bad habits.
Yeah,
that is true.
That is another truth right there. But it can
but
do both
if you
ways.
are very self-critical of yourself and how you perform your movements, you can grow.
I agree.
Yes.
Well, you should fucking videotape
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly. That's the main reason why I do what I do.
Especially
it
2019,
helps me
there's
grow. Yeah.
lots and lots of really, really good instructors that are giving out solid information for free.
Sure.
There's a lot to learn.
Yeah, well, I can give you my example. So I learned most of my tactics from the military, right? Marine Corps. When I got to civilian world, I'll be honest with you, I thought I knew a lot, and I didn't know jack shit. I knew what the military taught me for the military weapons. I didn't know anything in the civilian world. So a lot of it is technically self-taught. I got a good foundation from the military, and then from the military, I went ahead and made myself more proficient. Like in the military, I trained with every weapon system that's available for small arms in the military. When I got to civilian world, you have to train for subcompact. You didn't train for subcompact. It's different. You didn't train you train with M16, which is burst fire. You didn't train with AR and stuff. So
it's a whole different game.
Yeah, it really is.
A whole different game.
So a lot of what we had to do is that. But I mean, dude, I sit here like I was telling you guys before. I sit here and watch Netflix, and I've got my handgun in my hand, cleared, obviously, completely empty. What do you mean why?
So don't you dry fire with live rounds?
Yeah, I totally dry fire with live rounds.
Yeah, but it's not dry fire.
Then it's not real.
That's pop.
But okay, so I have done that with live ammunition, but it's to train how to unload and load, quicker. And yeah, a lot of that is just me consistently doing it to develop the right habits, in my opinion. So I can agree with you on self-taught. And I mean, how many classes have you taken?
About 5.
5 classes?
Yeah, and honestly, 3 of them were like this year alone.
Sure.
So, and for the most part, I just do
But
stuff
you're
myself.
seeking
I
knowledge.
watch. Yeah, I seek knowledge.
You're
I
seeking
seek
knowledge.
to be better, every day. I'm not just there trying to perform and stay compliant where I'm at. I want to be good. I want to be the best, honestly.
There you go. And you're taking the steps that it takes. That this is what people need to do. You're actually taking the steps to training yourself and taking the steps to finding knowledge.
Yeah.
Admitting that you may not know everything.
Oh yeah,
right. Because right
I
now you probably shoot proficiently, but you're still taking courses.
Oh yeah.
And it's to humble yourself to know that you can't know everything. And I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I commend that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you have to have an open mind. You can't always. I feel like a lot of people tend to reach a point where they're like, "Oh, I'm the shit," kind of thing. And once they reach that kind of mentality, that's when they don't grow anymore.
Sure.
You have to be open minded. You have to be willing to learn, even from shittiest person.
That's
Find
why,
something you learn.
That's why range days are important.
Oh yeah, especially range days with good shooters.
Teaches you how much you suck.
Exactly. Well, that's why I love competition, because I go there and people smoke my butt, and I'm like, shoot, what are they doing that I'm not doing?
Right.
We actually do we try to collectively group up and shoot on a range. hopefully we'll be getting once a week.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we can do that. But we're all broke.
I'm poor.
We're out ammunition cost things, and but we're trying to figure out properties. We used to have good friends that have properties up close that we can just go shoot whenever we wanted. It's getting hard.
We got so close to buying our own private range.
We almost did. Yeah, we almost bought our own private range.
Like I said, guys, if you guys want to come shoot, open anytime. You guys are welcome down. More than anytime.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's another show in the books for you. Thank you very much for tuning into the Covert Standard. It has been amazing. I've had a lot of people hitting me up lately, and it is awesome to hear from you guys. I'm glad that you guys are listening and loving the content that we're pushing out. This is for you. This is for the community. We're trying to make America a better place as well. We're trying to develop that and be a voice for everybody. I've got Chase.
Hi.
You can go follow him on Instagram at Bad Karma Live. Go ahead and check him out and bother him because he ain't got anything better to do.
You're right.
I've also got Dylan DHuck_. You can go ahead and hit him up and ask him questions. This guy is very knowledgeable in a lot of things, guys. So you're going to use his knowledge up. It'll be amazing. And of course, our special guest RP. Go ahead and give you all your plugs, man, if you don't mind.
Sorry.
All your plugs. Thepewpewchannel is his Instagram.
Yeah, the Pew Pew channel. That's about all I run.
So if you guys go check him out on Thepewpewchannel and check out all his videos and his tactics and everything, he's going to have a lot of good content on there as well. And hit him up if you have any questions. And then, of course, I am the Nitro Panda. You can follow me on all social media platforms at _Nitro_Panda. Just type in the Nitro Panda. I'm the only one out there. And also,
for now,
don't forget that Covert Standard also has social media platforms across the board. Anything from Tumblr to Twitter to Instagram as well.
You got that Bumble account?
It might have a Bumble account.
Fuck?
Tinder?
I thought Dave made that for you.
No. That was Stone that he found on there. You can follow. Yeah, you can search the Nitro Panda on Tinder. But Covert Standard on all social media platforms. And it's been a successful show, man. Bust your ass, work hard, and get the shit done. And you guys, don't be afraid to stand up, man. That's what we're here for. If you believe in something, stand up for what you believe in. Don't cower out and fight back against the tyranny. And it's what we're here for. Okay, so love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
You want something? Work your ass off for it.
Cover.